And we are live. My name is Nicole Hagen, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals, so we are the political orphans. The main topics of the day: 96 CEOs sent an open letter to Mark Carney saying that the Canadian economy is moving in the wrong direction. It seems that an unlikely partnership is emerging between Mark Carney and Daniel Smith. A viral video of a reporter asking a counter protester a very simple question: what is a fascist? Might surprise you, and many, many more topics to cover. But get your comments ready because the show starts now. What's going on, man?
What's happening, brother? Did you hear about it just broke like 20 minutes ago, but Jimmy Kimmel got the ABC's holding him off air because of his Charlie Kirk comments last night. So like
I guess we're starting with this.
Yeah, I guess so. We probably would have talked about, but man, this Charlie Kirk's holy hell, this guy's legs, man. I'm shocked. This is still going strong. But what's really shocking is it's Jimmy Kimmel, who's like pretty like, it's not like, remember Stephen Colbert, he got canceled a while back, but that's because he's losing $80 million a year. Jimmy Kimmel, I believe, is still making money for ABC. So they must have gotten a shit ton of complaints, and it wasn't even that big of a thing. It was mostly just saying that the shooter was MAGA or right wing, which is of course bullshit. But it wasn't even about Kirk himself. It wasn't celebrating his murder. So it's really interesting to see how fast the left's cancel culture vehicle is coming back and crashing on them.
But it's not even cancel culture, though. I wouldn't even call it cancel culture. I would simply say that it's kind of just realigning itself.
Yeah. But
I don't know if is it cancel culture?
I think it is, or it's at least an offshoot of cancel culture. But it's also, I think when the term cancel culture to me tends to mean something for which you didn't really deserve, like a shitty tweet that came up 10 years ago, and this isn't really that, because this is kind of deserved, but it's in the same vein for sure. But
this is my point. I agree with that. Like in my head, cancel culture is I used the N-word to one of my bros that's
20
black
years ago or something, or
even 2 weeks ago, but I did it behind closed doors
20 minutes ago.
Yesterday. Yeah, exactly. But that's what it sounds like. It's like, to me, cancel culture is you're digging through somebody's life, trying to look for skeleton.
Yeah, sure.
And it wasn't just organic. Somebody said something. No. It was really... you're looking for but I didn't hear about that. So how about I'm trying to find a video. A lot of videos are very long. They're like 8, 10, 20 minutes. Not sure. You know what,
you got something.
If we're gonna speak about it, we might as well look something from Fox.
Okay,
let's make it as I always use CBC for the stuff that I'm going to point out is absolutely ludicrous.
Yep.
How about we just use, because Fox is going to just, they're going to dig on that one, right?
You're this guy.
We have been following a lot of breaking news over the past several hours, and we do have more that is now coming into the newsroom. This coming in courtesy of the Associated Press, as well as Reuters, a story that we have been following here, as ABC has now suspended Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely following comments that he made about Charlie Kirk's killing. The network's decision came. Nexstar announced that its ABC affiliates would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely over his comments. Quote, Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located. That's according to Andrew Alford, president of Nexstar's broadcasting division. As we mentioned, Nexstar made the announcement about its stations, and ABC followed that by pulling the plug indefinitely on Jimmy Kimmel's late night show. Now, we also have just a little bit more information here, as we know that earlier in the day, the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, had urged local broadcasters to stop airing the show on ABC. So again, Nexstar made the decision to pull it from their stations. And then after that, ABC said, we're going to suspend the late night show altogether indefinitely. And this is all related, of course, to the comments that were made about Charlie Kirk's killing. The conservative political activist shot and killed in a targeted attack 1 week ago today as he was at Utah Valley University speaking in front of thousands of people, a crowd estimated to be 3,000 when he
So they won't even show what he said. I
keep you
thought,
updated.
Yeah.
I
Just
thought
do one
it's
of the
Fox
longer
News.
clips because I think it'll be the first part of it that we see. So you don't
We
have
have
to watch
breaking
it.
news. ABC has just announced here that
Yeah,
they
that's-
will
Oh, there you
be
go. Right
at a
there.
very tense time with many of the issues we've been covering tonight. There was a backlash on the right because Jimmy Kimmel, after the Charlie Kirk shooting, made the statement that he viewed, quote, new lows with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything
not gonna
other
show
than one of them, and with everything they can to score political points from it, end quote. I've just read part of what Jimmy Kimmel had said, which includes
being said is inaccurate or deplorable or both.
They're not.
and-
They're showing him
I've
talk in the
got it.
background.
I've got it.
Because
Yeah.
how about we just? I don't
just,
really care what people think about it. How about you just show me what
just
he
want to
said?
see it. Yeah.
Amid pressure
I
from the
got it.
Trump-aligned FCC, not yet heard
Brian
from
Stelter.
Republican or was.
Yeah, I
You
think
got
this
something?
is all. Yeah,
It's
I
all
got it.
fluff. You share it. Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, MRC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know MRC. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing,
That's
there
pretty
was,
much it.
Grieving on Friday, the White House
Beginning,
flew the flags
where he
at
says-
half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president
This is
is
actually
taking
funny.
this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there you see all the Trumps. They just
Fucking
started
Trump.
construction of the new Capitol for the White House.
But yeah, it wasn't much. It's this little bit at the beginning where he says new lows over the weekend. Basically, MAGA is trying to portray the shooter as anything other than one of us.
The MAGA gang
That's it?
desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score
That's it.
political points.
So that's what I was saying. It's pretty surprising. Like, I don't personally think he should be canceled. For
I don't
that.
see a problem with that.
No, it's just it's a gag, it's a joke. These late night hosts, but it's really interesting to see how fast the boomerang is coming back at the left. I think they're just shocked, like because the first couple days it was about people getting canceled or losing their jobs for celebrating his murder, and I'm okay with that. That to me is fair play.
That's private entities.
Yeah. But here he's just saying, basically making a joke. But I guess it's misinformation. I think ABC. So I read somewhere because they have a public license, they are officially, technically supposed to. If something is like overtly false, they're not allowed to play it. Now, obviously, they get around that a lot. But I think this is just so obviously false. Pam says they canceled for that. Okay, that's scary. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't. Think
I don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
like it. Because you know what? Most people don't remember. They're not old enough to remember how Jimmy Kimmel came to be. But he used to run the Man Show. It was
Man
literally
Show, him and Adam
the,
Carolla.
the most sexist shit you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, yeah.
They literally had women, big boobed women, jumping on trampolines just so that dudes could stare at their titties.
Yeah.
And that's what he gets canceled.
That's sad, right, bro? Like that's embarrassing. That's what you got canceled for.
But I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it.
No.
Just like, we spoke about it yesterday, what Pam Bundy said, where, we're going to go after hate speech. You can't talk
That's fair, yeah.
against Charlie. And, yesterday we were talking that we were starting to see a backlash, like we're starting. It's everywhere. If you look in all right circles, like not in the right circles, but people from the right, they're all losing their shit on Pam Bundy, as in, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
no, we didn't fight against since Obama for this shit, and for you to start canceling people. And you know, since we're on the subject, I found a video that, because I know for a fact that Charlie Kirk had spoken about this, saying that he would never be for hate speech. And I got a video from MSNBC. They actually digged for the old quotes of Charlie
Really?
Kirk, where not only is he, you'll see, I'll just play it. Like, I'll just play the first 2 minutes because it's like 8 minutes long. But this is, since we're talking about Jimmy Kimmel, and let me just say, I'm not a fan of that guy. I used to love The Man Show. Don't get me wrong. 20 years ago, The Man Show was awesome. But he did not deserve to get canceled for that.
For that.
At all, at all, at all, at all, at all.
No,
Because this is, of all the dumb shit that guy said, that's the one. That's it.
yeah. As Pam says, Republicans have gone off the charts with all those cancellations. Yeah, it's almost like they're kind of getting drunk on power on their own
Power?
supply here. Yeah, exactly. And like, oh, we get to, oh, this is fun. Oh, now I see why the left did it so much the last couple of years. This is a good time, but man, you can't be like that.
But this video from MSNBC is great. Like, I'll play the first 1 minute, 2 minute.
Yep.
You'll see what I'm saying. Like, they actually dug for the quotes. And I've been saying it. Charlie Kirk wouldn't have condoned that.
You mentioned the question of free speech. The Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, said yesterday the government will crack down now on comments it considers to be hate speech. This is what she said on a podcast hosted by Katie Miller, who is married to Trump's top deputy, Stephen Miller.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
Many conservatives criticizing those comments yesterday. Eric Erickson wrote bluntly, our attorney general is apparently a moron. There's free speech and then there is hate speech. No, ma'am, that is not the law. Tim Carney wrote, Bondi needs to correct herself and reaffirm her department's dedication to free speech. Others pointed to comments by Charlie Kirk himself, who tweeted last year, hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment.
Yep.
Keep America free.
That's right.
But
I was
hold on,
wondering
listen
if
to
you could
this.
talk about where you draw the line with free speech, hate speech, and slander.
It's a terrific question. My position is that even hate speech should be completely and totally allowed in our country. The most disgusting speech should absolutely be protected.
Yep.
So, David French.
There you
Societal
go.
sort of vote, right? Like there's people will, if someone's out there saying truly disgusting things, people won't want to be around them. People will shun them socially. There will be consequences. They might lose their job. That's all perfectly fine. Society can sort this out. We don't need the government deciding.
That's justice.
Hate speech.
That is justice to me.
Yep.
Say whatever you want. If your employer sees it, doesn't like it, they fire you. That's justice, brother. Like that to me, that is real. That is real consequences right there.
That's right.
And
That's right.
but how ironic that MSNBC showed Charlie Kirk's post saying he was not for banning free speech or for banning hate speech because it was part of free speech. What a smack in the face of Pam Bundy. But it's everywhere, man. Like, again, I follow a lot of Republicans in the US and I'm followed by them. We have relationships and I did not see one single comment on my feed yet of a conservative or a Republican saying that it was a great idea.
No, and fair play to the right, to the conservatives for being consistent, right? Because you see that all the time when it's on the other side. Everyone has their principles, and then when it's your side doing it, there's always some excuse. Oh no, it's fine this time. It's perfectly cool. But fair play for mostly, as you said. I didn't see anyone who was supporting Pam Bondi.
No, oh no, she's getting ripped apart, and this is the type of misstep that could get you fired. That Trump could just walk and just say, bye-bye, Blondie, you're out. Because that is a massive misstep. You're literally saying that free speech doesn't exist anymore, that the First Amendment, you will not respect the First Amendment. That's basically what the AG said.
Yeah.
The Attorney General of the United States is telling you, sorry, we won't respect the First Amendment. No.
And you wonder if this came from her, if it came from above her, or whatnot. Logan says the U.S. Congress is demanding that Twitch permanently deplatform Hassan Piker. Dan Clancy was called to speak out to Congress all over his calls to murder conservatives. See, I don't like that either. If he's calling for murdering conservatives, then there's laws against that. You can't call for violence. You can't call for people to be murdered. But I don't like the idea of the U.S. Congress demanding that a private company deplatform anybody. If he's breaking the law, let the law deal with it. But
100%.
not a hate speech law, an actual violence, incitement to violence law.
Norton and Hillbilly's asking me if I have any. Sorry, hold on. I'll start with that one here. Sorry if I have any history book. Yeah, about half of them are history. And then he's saying Charlie was awakening to Zionists. I've seen that post all over the place. I've seen conversation, especially that he had on with Megyn Kelly a few weeks back, where he admitted that he refused money from Israel. Like he was going to get financing. I don't know how accurate this is.
Yeah.
But I saw the video myself, and he was saying that he was refusing money from Israel. So it looks like he was starting to question Israel, which is interesting because Charlie Kirk has always been a massive defender of Israel. There's a lot of videos out there saying that he's been to Israel. He was able to walk where Jesus Christ walked. He was able to kiss the same wall. He was able to go where he was born, where he actually spent his life. Mm-hmm. And he's always defended Israel, but he's right, Norton and Billy, that there are some videos out there that were showing that he was starting to question Israel. Like we've said before, you don't even need to go down the road of the Zionists to agree that Israel has done some pretty bad stuff in the past.
Of course.
To tell me that they're 100% accurate, they've never done. You don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to agree that they've done a lot of fucked up shit in Palestine. So has Palestinian done some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing good about what's going on there. And yeah, you're right. Pam is bang on. I saw those posts. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but Candace, I follow Candace Owens, and she went on a rampage a couple of days after Charlie Kirk, or even the day after Charlie Kirk was dead, or was assassinated, sorry. And she started posting one after the other, just post. And she's like, Charlie was questioning. He sent a letter to Bibi, and supposedly, we don't know what's in there. We have no idea. But Candace Owens seemed to be talking a bit, continuating what Charlie Kirk was saying on the Megyn Kelly show. So it's unfortunate because we'll never know the real things that went on. We have to trust what they're saying, but there's definitely something more than what we know that we'll never know, right? That what we see. But at the end of the day, that's why I'm not spending my time on something I can't prove. But the effect of the aftermath of Charlie Kirk are real. You're seeing them in the US, you're seeing them in Canada, you're seeing them all over the place, where people are, it seems like people are, I don't know if waking up, but like I said yesterday, it seems that the woke left and the left are getting a divorce. They're just like, hold on here. And guys like you are the perfect example. You've seen videos of Charlie Kirk since he's been assassinated, and you're like, oh, shit, that's the guy? Like, that's the guy?
This is not what we've been told. Yeah, I think there is some sort of an awakening on the left, and I think, the moderate common sense left, who is sort of like, wait a minute. Okay, so I know for sure they lied about this, and you wonder if they're going to take it the next step, right? Maybe they're lying about everything. There's let's see if I can find it here. There's this hang on, give me one second. The Gell-Mann amnesia effect. So it's basically, it was described by the author Michael Creighton, and it's he was given an interview and he explained how this funny thing happens when you become famous. He said, I'll read in the news and they'll be talking about some story about, I don't know, the Middle East. He's like, I don't know anything about the Middle East. And I just accept what they say is true. Then they'll be talking about tech. I don't know anything about tech. And I accept what they're saying as factual. But then they talk about me. And not only something I know, and he said, not only do they get the facts wrong, but they get them often opposite of what they actually are. They get every single thing in the story wrong. And then I go back and I read the story about the Middle East and I forget what I just heard. And I assume that this thing is also factual. So it's like, you know what I mean? The whole thing he's saying is like, if you know something that's factual. So like in this context, when you know that they're lying about the Charlie Kirk thing, do you then go back and say, but I'm sure they're telling me the truth about every other thing? Or do you apply that knowledge, right? Do you apply that knowledge and be like, start to question, like, hey, wait a minute. I think one of the defining features of the right and left has been distrust of media, distrust on the right, trust on the left. But over the last couple of years, I know me personally, I have zero trust in the media really since COVID. That was such a huge thing. I think woke up a lot of liberals and lefties. And once that clicks, a lot of other things cascade after that. It does start to change how you view the media, but how you view the world, really, because now you're questioning everything. And again, we've talked a lot about how the boomers are sort of a unique, almost radicalized demographic right now. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they are by far the primary consumer of mainstream media.
Like I was showing yesterday with the report for the food bank, they're the one that are the less hit by the economy too. So they all are in the best situation that you can be. Mm-hmm. They're the favored group right now in Canada, and there's a lot of them, and they're still believing what they're being fed. We talked about the protest that happened in Toronto, and then the one that was in the UK under Tommy Robinson, and then the numbers that were being shared by places like BBC saying, there was like 100,000 people, 100,000
Yeah, that
people.
kind of stuff.
And I'm like, hey, hold on. I've been to protests that there were 100,000 people. I've been to concerts that were outside with 100,000 people. This ain't a fucking 100,000 people. You're looking at least 1 million people showing up, but they're downplaying it. And people are like, oh yeah, but you don't know what you're talking about. You're exaggerating. 4 years ago, it was 3 or 4 years ago during the lockdowns, there was a massive protest in Montreal. We were at least 100,000 people there. Mm-hmm. And I'm on my phone walking, looking at the mainstream media, and they were reporting on the protest like we were 20 people sitting in a corner. Like they were showing a camera angle of like a few people walking around. And I'm literally in the crowd. There's 100,000+ people around me. I'm looking and I'm like, the media is literally telling me that we're a bunch of idiots in a corner somewhere when we've taken over the streets of Montreal.
That's crazy.
You're literally looking at your phone and you're like, bro, like, just look right there. But they do that all the time. So there's a lot of I'm going to call them conspiracy theories out there.
Yep.
That they're talking in the chat. And what I find interesting is, again, you don't have to be very conspiracy minded in order to, like, when I was saying that he was the perfect martyr, that's one of the reasons why Norton and Billy is saying that Charlie was dangerous to them because he was uniting left and right young people, and they fear that. I told you that they were trying to bridge that divide. But what's interesting about what he's saying is, if you look at what was said literally the day after Charlie Kirk died, so 2-3 weeks before he got shot, he's starting to talk against Israel, saying, I'm not taking their money. He's starting to question Israel, which is something he had never done publicly before. Then the day after he gets assassinated, the representative of Israel in the US, Ben Shapiro, is saying that he's gonna carry the torch and take over Turning Point America and do what Charlie Kirk was doing. So you start connecting the dot. You're like, okay, hold
Yeah.
on. The body
Yeah,
is still warm, and you have the ultimate Jew already saying that he's going to take over what Charlie Kirk was saying.
Now,
You can tell me that's all a conspiracy theory, but you can't tell me that there's not something there.
there's no
Like,
there. There's no there. There.
There's no there. There's no there. As
there's
Rob
some
was.
there.
There's there. Yes, there's
Yeah,
there.
There's some there. Yeah, I mean, and I guess you could look at this a couple different ways. You could have the idea that perhaps it was planned, but you could also, which I think is definitely, at least definitely true, where maybe it wasn't planned by the Shapiro Israelis, but once it happened, they immediately started to like scheme and sort of try to get in there to push the obviously one thing about Israel, they're very good at getting their message across politically, whether that's funding AIPAC, who obviously funds, so many politicians across the board, right and left. As you said, Israel is a country. It's not a religion. I really have an issue with that argument that it's anti-Semitic to criticize Israel's policies, because that's crazy. That it's not anti-Christian to criticize America's policies, and it's not anti-Muslim to criticize Saudi Arabia's policies, right? These are countries who have policies that can be criticized. But yeah, it's very interesting. There was another one of this definitely, I think, of all the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, this is the one that I definitely think has some legs. The rumor that the Discord messages were faked. I don't know. Did you have you seen those? I'll find those and bring those up.
I'm not sure what he's referring to.
So
there's so much of it, but there's so much of it out there.
Yep.
It's just, you know what? No matter how you look at it, you can believe in conspiracy theories or not. I don't know what I believe. There's too many things out there. Like, I don't know if you looked, but that was even the first or second day after the shooting. I'm pretty sure it was even on the same day as the shooting. You do a zoom on his t-shirt,
yep,
and it looks like AI. The freedom, so he had a shirt that said freedom on him. The F disappears. There's one of the letters that disappears mid-shot, and the ring, instead of having the ring on his third finger, it swaps to his fourth finger. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. So I'm like, that's why I've been concentrating not on who did it, but on the aftermath of what's of his assassination, because there's so many conspiracy theories out there that I find very interesting that seem to all have legs, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Information overload. I know there's something wrong. This was not what it appears to be. That for sure. But I don't know what it's supposed to be, because I don't have. I think there's too much information out there. And again, Northern the Hillbilly is saying who benefits. I've said that many times. If you build the situation back, what's the end goal, and how do you reverse engineer it? And normally you're gonna find a bit of intelligence there. But I don't know. It's this whole thing. I'm going to concentrate on the aftermath, because that's the only thing I can actually see for myself. But there's a lot of good conspiracy theories out there that are you know what? Alberta independence, we're absolutely in an information war. It's coming from all sides.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what to believe, especially not with AI. AI is so good at recreating or at creating videos now. I never know what's real. I got so many followers that are saying, hey, you should cover this. And I'm like, I'm looking at the video, and I'm like, I don't like the way people are moving in your video.
Yeah.
They don't look real.
It might even be
so
real,
I'm like, I'm not going to share it because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even a year ago, right? Like, it was like motherfucker had like 7 fingers or something, and you're like, yeah, okay. But that's the technology is advancing rapidly. It's pretty scary. It's interesting. It's exciting in a way. It's also scary. Yeah, lots of stuff going on. But in some ways, I don't know.
Did you find the Discord stuff where you were talking about?
Yeah, I did. I'll show.
Because I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's message. So this is these are released by the FBI, I believe. The conspiracy
about the killer.
Yeah,
so that's
the killer,
about the okay.
The killer talking to his boyfriend there. Like, for example, it's like I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'll read out some of it. He says, I'm okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Oram for a little longer yet. Shouldn't be longer until I come home, but I got to grab my rifle. It kind of goes like, it's like, did you do it? Yes, I did. Why did you do it? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be. And people are like, this is a little too convenient because it's just a perfect confession right here. It absolves all of his friends. He like is very clear to say, no, I did it on my own. The boyfriend, how long have you been planning this? He says a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. People are saying this is not how young people talk, right? Like it's full sentences. It's right.
That's like a 60-year-old white guy that wrote that trying to be cool like he was 20-year-old. Yes.
And here's another thing he says, remember how I was engraving bullets? Remember last week when I was engraving bullets? This is what it was for. The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bold on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. That really fucking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine, lol. I think that was a $2,000 scope. So it's just, people are reading this and being like, it's not really how kids talk. It's very convenient that he confessed to the murder, absolved his friends, and it's a very nice, neat little package. I
agree with Pam.
Yeah,
I've never called my car a vehicle.
Yeah,
never.
If you have 1,000 people in the room, you say hands up, however many referred to as a vehicle, you'd have 5 hands, and you say hands up, anyone under 70 who refers to it as a vehicle, and those 5 would go down.
And people in their 20s would be, what is a vehicle?
A vehicle. So it's just, there's that. Then there's also, so remember the old guy who
he was trying to create a diversion. I wanted the killer to get away.
Well, he actually admitted that, which is crazy.
Yes.
And remember at the time, because we were watching it, and I was like, that guy's involved somehow, like, because he was saying, I did it, and I was thinking, there's no way that he did not know this was coming, and just in the moment was like, I'm going to create a diversion. So, anyways, he's been charged with abetting or obstruction of justice, which makes sense.
Sure.
But then they check his phone because they arrest him. He's got kiddie porn on his phone. so like, bro, when you're going to go and create a diversion for a shooter, don't have kiddie porn on your phone, for fuck's sakes.
Or they're catching him with kiddie porn. They're adding some kiddie porn to make sure he never gets out of jail.
Yes.
It's, again, you don't know, right?
No, I mean, Bumpy says the old man was opportunist. I mean, maybe. But I think it is very reasonable and not that big of a conspiracy theorist to suggest that he knew this was coming. Otherwise, could he have, in the heat of the moment, come up with a plan to distract the shooter? Sure. But just imagine if you're just an old guy sitting there, even if you hate Charlie Kirk, guy gets shot. In those moments, very few untrained people are going to be thinking anything other than get the fuck out of here. Hit the ground, run. To have the presence of mind to create a diversion, yeah, sure, maybe he did. But it's entirely reasonable to think if he knew this was coming. The fact that he had kiddie porn and the shooter was in the furry weirdo trans crowd, that also tracks. It's just it's there's so much stuff in this story. The
biggest conspiracy of it all, and it's not even a conspiracy. Have you heard about the Epstein list ever since Charlie Kirk got shot?
No, I mean, clearly, but yeah, I mean,
they brushed it off today. Like, I think it was Kash Patel that's saying that I'm paraphrasing here, but he was in front of Congress and he was saying that there's no list because Epstein trafficked children to himself. Like, there was no clients. Like, hey, bro, like,
yeah.
But
no. Bumpy says you're seeing what you want to see. No, I'm asking reasonable questions. It's reasonable to ask if an old man had the presence of mind to create a diversion for a shooter he did not know was going to be there. That's a completely reasonable question.
The average individual would not react that way to gunshots. The average individual is not hearing gunshot, especially that you don't know where they're coming from. As in, I'm the shooter, I'm the shooter.
Yeah, I'm the shooter. Like, yeah, you hear gunshots, you're hitting the ground. You're not, I mean, like, I got to create a diversion for that guy. That's a really weird thing to do. Maybe he did, but it's certainly
It's
worth,
not impossible. It's not
no,
impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's a reasonable question to ask. Yeah, and I think further investigation is necessary.
There's just that's why I've been concentrating on the aftermath, because we've been talking about this for half an hour.
Yeah,
and we could literally talk about this for 6 hours.
There's a lot.
There's so much stuff out there, and it's just one post after the other after the other.
There's a lot of meat on that bone.
I think we can all agree that something is going on behind the scene. I don't think anybody in their right mind. I don't think this was just an opportunity where people are taking advantage of it. I think they created that opportunity. To which extent?
Yep, I agree.
Is that guy an MK Ultra type of individual? He was brainwashed to do this, and he actually did write those texts in that exact way because he was trained or he was brainwashed to do that. Man, it doesn't stop. No matter where you look, there's a conspiracy. So
yeah,
there's a conspiracy behind this. No questions in my mind. Which one is it though?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, more to follow. Tune in.
One thing that we could actually go to that's actually pretty funny is this video is going viral, at least I don't know on X, but it's going viral on Instagram, and it's not going to be surprising. It's just funny. I'm just showing this because it's hilarious. But so this was taken at the Canada First protest. The dude there is the black dude's a reporter, and he asked a counter protester, what is a fascist? And I don't think you're going to be surprised by this, but it's fucking hilarious. I'm lightening the mood here.
Okay.
Canada has like a very, very deep rooted system of like white supremacy and racism. It's like founded off genocide, right? So that's...
Do you think that they're fascist?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, what is a fascist?
A fascist? Oh my god, my brain just blanked. I'm like, I don't have the right word for it.
Okay, it's fine. I just want to know because I'm young. I just want to be educated.
Of course.
I want to be
so
educated.
Smart. So
yeah.
smart.
More so, it's like just like about being rooted in like a believing like that they are like bad. Like it comes from like being better. It comes from like wanting to like. Oh my god, my words are blanking on me right now. I've been screaming.
No, you just don't know what you're talking
What is a fascist?
about.
If you had to like educate the youngins watching.
Like in a Jesus. Yeah, no, in a quick one too. I'm like, bro. Jesus. We've been screaming too long.
You guys been screaming too long? You need some water. It's fine. I understand.
Because it's Canada.
But I like the guy, the way the black guy's clever. He's like, I'm young. I need to be educated because God, now you're brushing their, I get to educate a black guy.
Yeah. It's, well, and I think if you had asked, if every person who regularly says the word fascist in their speech, there's a fascist, that fascist, let's say you could line up every single one of them and ask them that same question, I think north of 90% would sound the exact same. You'd have 5% who have some definition of it that probably doesn't really, at the end of the day, what they really mean is people we don't like, people who have different opinions than us, people on the other side. That's what they mean by fascist. And it's really stupid because words like fascist and Nazi, they have real meanings. They're real words. There are real fascists. There are real Nazis, but 99% of the people they called those are not that. And you use words like that in this kind of sort of highly divided political moment, a very partisan moment, and eventually you're going to hit the crazies. You're going to hit some nutcase who thinks, like this guy, who shot Charlie Kirk, that he's doing a good thing, that Charlie Kirk is full of hate, that he's a fascist, which of course none of that is true.
Demoni? Because I don't know the guy, but supposedly his name is Demoni.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can reach out to him because I like the way he trapped that woman. That was actually really, I'm young and I need to be educated. I need to be educated.
Yeah.
He's clever. I really like that guy. Demoni. Oh yeah, I got him right here. Yeah, subscribe. I'm definitely subscribing. I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh, he did a bunch of them. Oh, he did. He does a bunch of stuff in the US too, I think. Yeah.
Oh, was that in Canada there?
Yeah, that was at the rally from last weekend
Oh,
in
shit.
Toronto.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his stuff. So he does stuff in Canada. He seems to do send ice up to Canada. Oh no, okay, it's Canadian. Send up ice to Canada. Okay. I'm gonna put in my notes to reach out to this guy. I actually like what he did.
Oh
there,
yeah, let's
so I'll
get,
reach
see if we
out
get
to
him on
him.
the show. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, because he's funny. Like
Yeah.
I at least know one person that probably knows him. The
Okay.
organizer of the protest spent a lot of time. I saw another of his videos and they were having a conversation, so I guess they must know each other.
Okay.
So I'll reach out to him. I'm just taking notes here. Reach out to him. Cool. I'll reach out because that's the type. I like him. I like the guy. So
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. Just kind of like, hey, I'm just asking questions. I mean, as wait, what is someone just said? Yeah, Logan says he's a good dude. One of those guys who doesn't pick a side. He's open to talking with everyone. Yeah, I mean, that's what you need
Gotta
out
like
there.
it.
Right? Yeah, just get out there with a microphone and start talking.
Fucking Logan, you're very welcome for the guest idea,
Yes,
Nico.
yeah.
I refuse to take credit.
Okay,
You know, brother.
passive aggressive. Logan, just watch you don't strain your arm there, patting yourself on the back.
But I would say that at least a third of the guests that I had on that I got on the show were recommended by.
Oh, sure.
Like at
Sylvie,
least a third,
yeah,
a
and
third to
of
half,
all
I
of
would
them,
say.
half of them come
Yeah.
from Sylvie. Like of that third, probably half are from Sylvie.
Yeah. Oh no, listen, there's no way I know everybody out there. There's no way. Plus, at the end of the day, the show's to be shaped by the people that listen. So
Yeah, absolutely.
let's see what we got. I'll let you choose. Do we talk about the 96 CEOs that sent an open letter? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because that was trending this morning. I don't know if you heard about it, but that was done a couple of days ago. I think it was published 3 days ago, but it just started popping up this morning. So, Build Canada Now, an open letter to the Prime Minister of Canada.
This is what we've been saying, man.
Oh yeah,
this show
15
is just fucking hitting the nail on the head every issue.
So 2 days ago, and basically, I'll go there for the first. Okay, those are CEOs of oil and gas company. It's like
Okay.
there's 96 of them. So
Are they all oil and gas, or are they just?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. I believe they're all connected to oil and gas. But what's interesting about this is that they say things like the Canadian economy is moving in the wrong direction. Like they're literally calling out Carney and things like that. They want to unlock world-class oil and gas or natural gas resource to strengthen Canada's economy, sovereignty, resilience, and prosperity. So everything that's in that letter, I could literally go word for word, and everything that they're saying is absolutely bang on. And not only do they talk about how bad the economy is becoming under the liberal, they're not saying the liberals, they're just saying how bad it's becoming. They're actually saying things like we've been saying. Canada's blessed with a enviable abundance of oil and natural gas resources and has the expertise to develop them in a manner consistent with environmental responsibility, social values, and working with Indigenous groups for the benefits of Canada and Canadians. They're very clever. They touched all the good points: environmental responsibility, social values, and a little land acknowledgement. And they even give him a 5-point. Make the changes expressed in the earlier Build Canada Now letter, because I think this is the second or third letter that they send. And they literally give him a game plan as to what needs to happen in order for us to take advantage of our oil and gas and start rebuilding the Canadian economy. Simple enough. Significantly simplify regulation, as in cut off the cut all the red tape, shorten timelines for project approvals from
Yeah.
years to month.
Yep.
Commit to grow production, not limit it, as in the oil cap emission, remove it. Fiscal framework that attracts investments, remove the carbon tax. And then the last one is incent indigenous investment opportunities, as in they ask the federal government needs to provide indigenous loan guaranteeing at scale so industry can create ownership opportunities to increase prosperity and ensure indigenous communities benefit from resource development. It is, I invite anybody out there to just go to the Enbridge website, literally just write, what was it, Canada Now, Build Canada Now, CEO letter. It will bring you there. It's worth taking the 5 minutes to just read through it, but they literally said everything that needs to happen. But 96 CEOs of some of the biggest companies in the world that are here in Canada are telling Mark Carney directly what you're doing is wrong. You need to wake the fuck up because Canada's economy depend on it. And I did a video about this morning, and that's what I said. I'm like, we need to start extracting our natural resources like Canada's future depended on it, because it does. You know, after I read that letter, it's clear if we want to ever rebuild what is referred to as a Canadian dream, natural resources, drill, build refineries and coast to coast pipelines. And, you know, this is where it gets interesting, because I don't know if you heard about this, but I saw this article. I'm going to bridge it because it's about oil and gas too. This is an article from the National Post, but it's basically calling the unlikely emerging of a partnership between Mark Carney and Daniel Smith.
Interesting.
And yeah, if you start reading, there's a few portion that I identified where they're saying that Smith and the energy industry have called for Ottawa to repeal a number of Trudeau-era policies that they claim use a drag on the economy, including the oil and gas emission cap, just like we were just talking about, the Impact Assessment Act that's basically shortened the approval speed from years to months, and the tanker ban off the coast of the West Coast, so off the coast of British Columbia.
Yep.
Where it's interesting is that supposedly that Carney has agreed in principle with Smith that the federal government will support a new pipeline that will ship decarbonized crude to the Pacific West, or the Pacific Coast, sorry. The oil would be decarbonized by the Giant Pathways Alliance carbon capture project that is likely to be 60% funded by federal investment tax credit, but also requires a much higher carbon price than 95% to be viable. What is interesting about all of this is it seems that Carney is now open to forcing a pipeline from Alberta to the west. Maybe he's going to force one to the east. But do you know what decarbonization is? Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah, I've heard the word, but what do they mean in this context?
I found a video explanation. So
imagine a world.
And this is where I put my conspiracy theorist hat on, because you'll see I'll connect the dots for you. But so you have the CEOs that are saying, hey, you need to do something about that. And I had that story before I found a story between Daniel Smith and Mark Carney, right? So that part is fine. That's all good. I agree with the CEOs. We've been talking about this for months now. Drill. Let's rebuild our economy. But what I found interesting in that article is that Carney is mentioning the decarbonization. It needs to be decarbonized crude, so decarbonized crude oil before it's refined, before we send it over. So here's an explanation, a small explanation as to what is decarbonization.
Imagine a world where traditional fuel production spews a staggering 37 billion tons of carbon dioxide into our atmosphere every year. That's the weight of nearly 5,000 Great Pyramids of Giza every single year. a reality that's not as far off as you might think, and one we at DMX Tech with our BioPetro Innovations Hub project are determined to rewrite. Our mission is bold and it's transformational. We're pioneering an advanced approach to the production of heavy crude oil. But this isn't just any process. It's the decarbonization of heavy crude oil, an innovative venture that's turning the industry on its head. This unique process efficiently produces decarbonized light crude oil and reprocessed carbon black. It's a significant leap forward in reducing carbon dioxide emissions and tackling major air and water pollution challenges. But we don't stop there. Our vision extends beyond conventional refineries. We're building a re-engineered petrochemical complex that's meticulously designed with one mission in mind: the creation of ultra-clean, carbon-neutral transportation fuels. This is more than just a new way of producing fuel. It's a revolution in sustainable fuel production. It's our way of aligning with the global commitment to mitigate climate change, leading the way to a more sustainable and environmentally responsible future in transportation. The path to this future begins with supporting innovations like ours. It's time to redefine what's possible in the realm of fuel production.
So basically, they invented a process that supposedly remove future carbon emission from oil before it is refined and used.
Okay, well, that sounds impossible. How do they do it?
That sounds like a whole massive amount of bullshit. Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Before I go even further, I just want to show you, because remember, he said that he would support a new pipeline that ships decarbonized crude to the Pacific coast. The oil should be decarbonized by the Giant Pathway Alliance. That's the company that has that technology as well. So what's the first thing that I did? I went to check if Brookfield own any investment in Pathway Alliance. They do not. But there's a but.
Interesting.
The but being that they did buy a company called Entropy Incorporated, which I will show you right now how they actually do the decarbonization. But funny enough, although right now Alliance Pathway has nothing to do with Brookfield as far as I can see it, here's Entropy, a company that Brookfield owns that does decarbonization, and this right there is the process on their website of how this is done. So when I saw that article, I'm like, okay, hold on. So finally Carney is agreeing on building a pipeline. He's not going through Entropy right off the bat because it would be way too obvious. He's promoting another company by the name of Pathway Alliance, but he's making it clear that he has no intentions of approving that pipeline if the crude oil is not first decarbonized, which is literally a process. Everything I can find is a process that is complete bullshit. Literally, we're making money off of saying that we're doing something to crude oil, which we're not. We're not doing it. Doesn't, like, look at this. That is their explanation as to how their technology works. Like, this is literally something you show kids like that are 3 years old when you're trying to explain to them something very simple to explain. There's nothing to this. But somehow they say to be able to remove carbon from the crude oil. So it seems that Carney right now is saying that the only way, but the part to remember is that he's saying that the only time he's going to approve pipelines is if the crude oil is first decarbonized. And somehow Brookfield has invested more than $200 million in a company by the name of Entropy that actually is one of the biggest players in Canada when it comes to decarbonization. It's one thing after the other with this guy. He just talked last week about producing Build Canada Now, investing $13 billion in building new affordable houses, 4,000 of them with a budget of $13 billion, which works out at about $3.25 million per home, which you would imagine it's a castle. It ain't. They're modular home. Something that Brookfield is heavily invested in prefab modular home. They own that technology. Now, Brookfield owns the technology that it seems that Mark Carney will be forcing crude oil to be decarbonized before it can go through a pipeline. It's every time that guy opens his mouth, you start looking at what Brookfield owns and you're like, that's why he's talking about this. That's why he's talking about that. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
That is absolutely insane. And it's it's all snake oil too, right? Like remove the carbon from crude oil. Like crude oil is carbon. You can't remove it from it.
Stop it.
What it is.
Stop it. Stop denying the fact.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Oh, so you deny the science. You're anti-science. There was a comment here. Lewis says China is laughing at us. Yes, wise guy. Climate change and carbon capture are both frauds. I mean, definitely carbon capture is. Climate change a little more debatable because the climate is changing. I think what's debatable or where the debate lies is how much is human activity causing, if any. And where these how accurate are these models' predictions? Because at the end of the day, we invented the models that they're using, right? We can input whatever inputs that we want. If we can tweak the knobs down here to give us whatever result on the other end that we want. So who is doing the tweaking, and where's their funding coming from? Yes, this is what I wanted. Trevor Bent says we're responsible for less than 2% of global emissions. I believe it's 1, but let's say 2. How about go bug other countries? Even if we stopped 100% of crude and parked every single car, it would do nothing for the climate. That's exactly the point. Like, even if you were the most fervent believer in the climate change narrative, you still should push for things that will actually do something. There's nothing Canada can do to affect global emissions. Like, again, if everything shut down tomorrow and we just went dark, emissions would drop by 1%. That's not going to do anything in any practical effect, even if you're a firm believer. So it's just stupid. It's all virtue signaling. Doesn't actually do anything. How can you give a shit when you're here in Canada? You have 1%. Meanwhile, China, no one says anything about them. Remember when Mark Carney said we have to have a price on carbon or China won't trade with us? What an idiot. What an idiot.
He didn't say China, he said Asia.
Asia, yeah, okay.
But we all knew. Okay, so which part of Asia? Are you talking about India or are you talking about China?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one? Pick one. They both don't give a fuck. Like, let's be real.
Malaysia. He means Malaysia. But none of them care. None of them give a shit. Why would they? They're in the business of selling it to the West. They don't give a shit if we have a price on carbon. Nobody else has a price on carbon.
I just want to take this one. Arad saying, nice job, Nico, on the research.
Yeah.
It's just rabbit holes. It's just rabbit holes. I know I have such my memory's a sponge for the dumbest fucking things. Now I'm finally able to use that for something. Because I remember all those little things. I'm like, hey, did I not read about this? Hey, did I not read about that? And then I start connecting the dots and I'm like, uh-oh. I just spent 3 hours digging now, and at least I have something.
Yeah, I mean, up till now, all you use it for is remembering all the insults from grade school and just crying yourself to sleep every night.
Yeah, masturbating with my tears. Yes.
Lewis says, fuck the government building homes. Let the private sector do it.
100. Close the border. Close the border. Stop importing people here. And let the private sector build. Remove the red tape. Just like the CEOs were just saying now. Cut down on the permit issuing. Make it faster. Remove the red tape. Stop importing other people. Stop bringing people here when there's no housing. Start deporting the people that shouldn't be here. Stop giving work permits to international students. Stop giving work permits to foreign workers, temporary foreign workers. We might get to something like that's a good place to start. And don't let the government be involved in building anything. You want less government, not more.
Yeah. And I mean, I agree with most of what you said. I don't necessarily think we need to shut the border, but drastically reduce. And I'm not even, I wouldn't vehemently argue against someone who wants to close the border. I just maybe I don't think that's the ideal policy. But if we did, I wouldn't really be too upset.
You just don't want to sound like a racist. I will sound like a racist. Close the fucking border. I got no problem saying it. Yep.
Racist, fascist.
100%. 100%.
Trevor, how about we stop trade with China and India? I mean, that's probably a harder sell. But you could, I mean, imagine that as an infrastructure plan or a nation building project. Start building all of our shit here. Probably would be expensive, but I mean, that's how America got so rich. They built all their own shit, and then they got
that's racist. Yeah, it's racist. Somehow that's racist. What you're saying?
Yeah,
build your own shit.
I don't know how.
Depending.
I don't know how, but it is.
It's
Trevor
racist.
Benson, I would recommend Fairman's Toll. Who is Fairman's Toll? I've heard a couple of times in the commentaries you mentioned. He's well read, studied political science, smart guy, but not many of the guts to interview him. Why? It's always like why did people not have the guts?
Hold on. What was that? Was that the name of someone?
Ferryman's Toll. Trevor Benson says he's recommending him as a guest.
Yeah, he's a well-read, studied political science, smart guy, but not many have the guts to interview him. Well, I got 3 names now. I will put it on my list to do for tomorrow. And I'll reach out. I reach out to people all the time. If they don't get back to me, hey, that's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, I like those conversations, so let's do it.
Greg Byrne, and I don't know. Is this your first time commenting, Greg? I don't know if I've seen it before, but welcome. Hopefully you stick around. Thanks for the comment. He says, if you think there's more than one race of humans, you are racist by definition and are not a new covenant Christian. I mean, I assume we're being sarcastic or sort of making fun of.
Yeah, I was just saying that if I have the audacity to say that we need to close our borders, I'm automatically a racist.
Super
racist. Only white people can be racist too. That's a fact.
Well, yeah, everyone knows that.
That, sir, is a fact.
Oh, this is interesting. Alberta Independence. Trump just announced he will designate Antifa as a terrorist organization. Very interesting. And frankly, kind of surprised it hasn't been done already.
Yeah, I agree, because they definitely are.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the argument is, oh, they're not a real organization. There's no leadership. Nah, they're clearly real. Like the people, we see them all in their black jumpsuits and their outfit. Like it's a real thing, and they clearly are organized. Like there's I've seen a ton of just. I think their whole thing is they're decentralized. I don't think they have like a clear national leadership structure. I think they're cells of them all over the place, which is exactly how terrorist groups operate, with cells.
Man, that is some great work there, Logan White. It's literally breaking right now.
Yeah.
Like literally posts are from 2 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, 17 minutes ago. And it seems that is actually, yeah, Donald Trump designates anti-fascism, Antifa movement as major terrorist organization. What is this? Very interesting.
Yeah. And it's funny too how they're like the argument's like, well, these are the good guys. They're anti-fascists, right? It's almost like all you got to do is call yourselves like, hey, you're the bad guys and we're the anti-bad guys. Therefore, how can we must be the good guys. We're anti-bad guys.
So he made a post on Truth Social saying, hold on, I'll share it here. There seemed to be a copy of it, like right there. This right there is the post itself. I can't take it. It's bad copied picture, but I'm pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Another message from the throne, Donald Trump.
Okay, yeah, I mean, regardless of what they call themselves, clearly by their behavior that we see again and again in clips and videos, I think it's a reasonable. I think it's I think it's appropriate to make that designation. This is an interesting comment here by Greg Barron. So he says, in quotes, fascism is corporatism and corporatism is fascism, from Benito Mussolini, who is, of course, the OG fascist. Public-private partnerships is the definition of fascism. I find this interesting just because, we're going back to that clip we saw a few minutes ago when we're all laughing at that woman who can't define fascism. How does one define fascism? Like, I can't really, but I'm also not going around calling everyone a fascist. So it's not really ridiculous that I don't know the exact definition. If you're going to go around and call everyone fascist, you probably should know what you're talking about. But I wonder what the actual definition is.
I brought it up because I had a feeling you would probably ask. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, and ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement that rose to prominence in the early 20th century.
Okay, so what does
Europe.
it mean, though? So it says over here, often advocate the establishment of a totalitarian one-party state, and for a dirigist economy, which is a market economy in which the state plays a strong directive role through market interventions with the principal goal of achieving autarky, national economic self-sufficiency. So it's kind of what I suspected, or how I would have thought, which is essentially the right-wing version of communism. I think, I don't know if that tracks. In other words, a authoritarian, far right or far left government based on generally, basically like communism would be like far left authoritarianism based on obviously shared property and abolition of private property. Fascism would be the authoritarian right-wing version of, I guess, like an authoritarian government, but based on public-private partnerships or strong government. I don't know. It's kind of hard to really see a difference between the two, to be honest, except maybe that one is right-wing, one is left.
That is, to me, that was my understanding, is that one's right, the other one's left. If you're looking at a spectrum,
but they're both equally bad in the same ways, I think.
Like we always talk that we always talk about how the crazies, there's like 10-15% of crazies on both ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
On both the left and the right, those are who they are.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly how I feel. And I think also jives with some of the horseshoe theory, right? Where you've got the far left and far right are actually a lot closer to each other than they are the moderates in the center. Greg Byrne with a nice comment here. Fascism is government-controlled corporations. Communism is corporations controlled by the government. Let me just wrap my mind around that. Government controlled by the corporations. Communism, corporations controlled by the government. Okay, yeah, I get it. That makes sense, actually. That's a good definition, I think, of way to. And I do think the bad aspects of both are probably quite similar in terms of just like authoritarian, probably very.
The first definition is exactly that.
Yeah, both.
The first word.
Authoritarian, yeah. Both try to
100%.
Both are going to be really cracked down on freedom in all its forms. Freedom of speech for sure. Aggressive government use of jailing political opponents. I think those are all both shared by both communists and fascism. And we're talking about true fascism here, of course. Not I don't like what that guy says, so he's a fascist.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's actually an interesting conversation here. Greg continues. Socialism is people controlled by the corporations. Capitalism is modern day feudalism and usury slaves. Yeah, I don't know about the last one. Like, my take on capitalism, I don't know if it's a quote from maybe Winston Churchill or something. I don't even think he was talking about capitalism. I think he was talking about democracy. But he said basically, democracy is the worst political system we've ever. He said the worst political system out there, except for all the other ones. I kind of feel the same way about capitalism, right? It's the worst economic system out there, except for all the other ones.
Yeah. It's the best one we got.
Exactly. Another way to say it. Yeah. It's bad, but it's still the best one.
But it's the best one.
Yeah. Trevor, so wanting the best for one's people one's people, family values, and love their neighbors is considered fascist. Well, no. I mean, right now we're talking about actual fascists, not.
Yeah,
like,
we're not talking about what's happening in the U.S. That's
we're
what
not talking about Charlie Kirk as a fascist or anything like that.
But I'm curious though, because I don't like the Jimmy Kimmel stuff.
No,
like,
I
don't
don't
like
either.
that.
Yep.
I'm as much as I think that guy's a mega twat, I don't see that much wrong with what he said.
No.
But how funny, as I was looking for the Trump quote, sending love to the Kirks, Jimmy Kimmel mourned Charlie's death, shared a heartfelt Instagram post 6 days ago. Sure, the day after, so that was done. They were talking about this morning.
Instead of angry finger pointing, can we just? Yeah, that's what I thought was interesting, because he wasn't even really talking about Charlie Kirk. He was talking about the murder. Yeah, I mean, look, if it was a financial decision, if it was just, the guy's not making money for ABC and they're looking for an excuse to can him, then just say that. Just say that. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
See,
I don't like it.
Right there. Instead of angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human being? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocent who fell victim to senseless gun violence. Okay, here we go. That's how he pushed his analogy of, obviously, it's not the fault of the trans, but it's a fault of the gun, because the gun was probably trans. Was that a trans gun?
Yeah,
if a trans operate a gun, does it become a trans gun?
A trans gun. Yeah.
Does that mean it becomes? What does happen to a trans gun?
I was thinking the other day about sort of like the gun control debate. And you remember the one thing that they were going with Charlie Kirk, that one of the things that often saw was he had said something like, some shooting deaths or a higher number of gun deaths is a reasonable trade-off for the Second Amendment for what we have. And of course, people were, of course, using that. Another quote that was taken out of context. They were using it to say, oh, see, now that he's a victim of a gun, he asked for it, basically, which is stupid. A very clear rebuttal to that argument. And I think Charlie Kirk even said this in the context of what he made that comment was, I think there's 40,000 automobile deaths every year, right?
Yep.
And yet almost everybody would agree that that's a reasonable trade-off for the lifestyle that automobiles give us. I don't think anybody would want to get rid of make automobiles illegal because of those 40,000 deaths. Now, saying that does not mean that I deserve to die in an automobile accident, right? And that's all Charlie Kirk was saying. He was saying there's X amount of gun deaths, and that is a fair trade-off for the Second Amendment. And I was thinking, I feel like that's a much stronger argument for the two-way supporters, because when you hear things like, "Oh, we don't have gun ownership in a country does not cause higher gun deaths," that's just nonsense. America has a much higher gun death rate than all the other G7 countries, so we know that's a fact. But just say it. Yes, there are a lot of gun deaths, and there are higher gun deaths in a country that has a lot of guns. That's just a fact. But I believe that those are a fair trade-off for the right to bear arms, because that argument, to me, I've never seen myself as a strong two-way supporter, but I can get behind that. I can get behind the argument that I understand why it's reasonable to want to own guns, and I also feel that X amount of gun deaths, everything's trade-offs, right? Everything is trade-offs in the world, and it seems to me that it's a reasonable take to say that that's a reasonable trade-off, in my opinion.
So the thing to keep in mind when it comes to gun death, and that's always the thing that people don't talk about, is so if you look in 2022, those are the latest numbers I'm finding. There were 48,204 deaths by firearms in the U.S. And 44,534 vehicle death. So they were about, call it 3,500 more. But the thing that they don't tell you is 60 to 70% of gun death are suicides, and the other vast majority are gang related. So when you look at how many suicide deaths do you think there is out of the 45,000 people that kill themselves in car accidents or that are killed by another car, probably close to 0, 1% maybe. Yet you're taking into account 60 to 70% of gun death are suicide. So if there wasn't any guns, they would kill. Here in Canada, they just made it.
Yeah.
They just go to the government and they can
get made. Yeah.
So, as much as you're saying that there's more gun death in the US compared to the other G7, sure. But let's find another population that's equivalent to the US and try to see how many of their suicides, how many suicide per 100,000 people, and I guarantee you it's probably the exact same fucking number in the G7 or very close. So then you need to count those in the gun death, because if the guns weren't there, those 60 to 70% of people would find another way to kill themselves.
Yeah, because I think in the context that we're talking about, the debate on the impact that guns have on society as far as deaths go, I think you can probably just take out that 60%, because that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking, in my mind, when I'm talking about the negative impacts of a lot of guns, I'm talking about walking down the street and getting shot. You know what I mean? And I think most people are as well, not someone who's killing himself. So I think for the context of that debate, you can take those out. So now that we've got what? Now we're looking at 20,000, 15,000?
Yeah, like between 15 and 20,000.
Is that a reasonable trade-off? I think you can make a strong case it is.
But hold on. Now you want to check into gun violence, like by gang violence.
Sure. Yeah.
And you're looking. Hold on. I'll find the number if you have a comment you want to take.
Yeah. So we got Trevor Benson says there's thousands of car deaths, so ban cars. Yeah, I mean that's basically what we're saying. Might as well ban spoons for making people fat. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the argument of banning the object. Like in the UK, in Europe, they're having all these stabbings, right? Machete stabbings. So now they're talking about banning knives, banning stabbings, rather than address maybe immigration. Maybe we're bringing in a lot of people that are stabbing people. Because obviously the stabbers are all a certain group, right? It ain't the native Brits that are going around stabbing people with machetes.
And the thing is see, you're looking. They won't give me quickly. I've seen the numbers before, but I'd have to dig to find them. But they're saying that you're looking in 2023, you had about 20,000 deaths by gun homicide, like it was somebody killing somebody else.
Okay.
And they're saying about 10% of that is gang related, which I know the numbers are a lot higher. But you're starting to look at the numbers and they start to make more and more sense, as in gangs, suicide, you're covering about 70 at least of the 45,000 that died. Now, the other numbers that they never want to talk about that are harder to find, and that I would have to dig because I can't remember what the numbers are. But if you start looking at how many people saved their lives, their families, by shooting somebody with a gun, those are in the thousands and thousands, if not the tens of thousands. So you don't see that in cars, right? I use my car, or you're rushed to the hospital, right? You use your car. So you're talking about lifestyle. Like you have to take, you can't say there's 44,000 people that died in car accident, 48,000 in guns. Guns are bad. No, you need to break it down. How many police officers have saved lives because they had a gun?
That's fair.
How many civilians have saved a life because they had a gun? So you start to look at those numbers and they make less and less sense for the anti-2A people out there.
Yeah, no,
but they never break it down.
It's an interesting argument, and one I find persuasive. I think because let's say some guy breaks into my home, he's going to kill me and my wife, and I shoot him. He's going to be logged as a gun death.
Yes.
But if you actually look into it, A, it probably saved 2 or 3 lives, and B, not all deaths are created equal. Society's better off for that death. Which you probably couldn't say for car deaths, although I'm sure bad people die in car accidents too. But you don't know, right? It's not. It was
COVID. It was COVID.
Yeah,
it was COVID.
Yeah, he got the bullet had COVID on it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why, because I you know, for most of my sort of growing up, the debate was like a lot of on the right were saying like, oh, gun rates are not, more guns doesn't cause more gun deaths, and I'd be like, no, that's stupid. It clearly does. Like if you could snap your fingers, remove every single gun from America right now, there would be no gun deaths next year. But
There'd be a bunch of knife death like you see in the UK.
yeah, sure. But the question is not, does it cause more deaths? Is the trade-off worth it for what you're getting in return? And when you factor all those things in, the gun death number is actually the relevant deaths, the ones that actually matter, which is innocent people going about their lives, is probably closer to 10,000 a year. And in a country that has 40,000 a year automobile accidents, I think you can easily make the case that is a reasonable trade-off for the right to bear arms.
So Pew Research did a study in, I believe it was 2018, where they looked at 195 countries and territories.
Yep.
They found that the US ranked 20th in gun fatality rate that year. 20th. Not even fucking close to be. But I guarantee you that if I dug, like I'm just reading through the article, like through the research as we're talking, but I'm pretty sure that they removed the suicide rates, like the 60 to 70% of suicides, they removed that because the wording that they're using is gun fatality as in murder.
Yep.
So obviously the US has a lot more guns than El Salvador, than Venezuela, Guatemala, Colombia and Honduras. I've been to Honduras. That's probably one of the most violent country on the planet, at least used to be. But all to say that you start looking at the numbers and you're like, okay, there should be a lot more death than they have if you believe that guns kill people, not people kill people.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And
100.
One thing that I've said so many times, if not that I would ever do that, I'm just saying I will never do what I'm going to propose here. But if I wanted to take as many people as possible out as fast as possible, I wouldn't be using a gun. I'd fucking make bombs. Like, this is the thing, right? Use your head. It's not that hard. All the information is there. You can find it. So if my goal was the maximum amount of death, there's a lot better tools than guns. Because there's other people with guns that will shoot me because they have a gun.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We got
and I'm not saying I would do that. I'm not saying I would do that. I'm not proposing that anybody does that. I'm not trying to give people ideas, but
wise guy, and that's absolute truth. The guns are the great equalizer. Otherwise, the bigger man or the criminals have the advantage, especially where women are concerned. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of surprised guns or 2A, support of the 2A, isn't more of a feminist position for that exact reason.
It should be 100%.
Although I'm starting to see it a little bit. I see it a few times on X, people that I follow, but I agree. It should be like a core feminist position because of that. It is the great equalizer. And demographically, the people most in need of equalizing are women.
My buddy, the guy that introduced me to firearms more than a decade ago, told me this. I used to fight back then. He's like, bro, I don't care how good in shape, because he's a little fat guy. Hey, Aaron. And he's been telling me for years, it's a great equalizer, man. I don't give a fuck that you can kick my ass. I'm just going to shoot you.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like you can Bruce Lee shit. Hi-ya!
Pow!
Yeah, pow. All right, see ya next.
Yeah, next. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that I don't know if that's what Logan White is talking about.
Yeah, it's going on in the comments. What's going on with that?
I think I saw that there's, I think a police officer, a police officer in Canada that his firearm, like his SIG P30, P320. Yeah, I think I've shot that gun before. That the SIG went off in his holster, or was it in the US? I thought it was in Canada. P320 goes off holster. Because I didn't think that police officers here in Canada were using SIGs, so it has to be in the US, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing much here. The pistol. Oh, no, there you go. Oh, it was in the U.S. CBC's reporting on it. Yeah, I've shot that gun. That's not a bad gun. I like SIGs, actually. I'm a fan of SIGs. I like my CZ better, though. I had a nice Shadow SP01 Chrome. That was a beautiful gun. The pistol, a SIG Sawyer P320, allegedly discharged accidentally while in a Charlottetown police holster on September 4th. Yeah, it is US, yeah. That's interesting. Might have been a hair trigger. The Mounties got SIG. That's pretty cool. Really? Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of Berettas. Like the PX4 Storm, not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Berettas. They're so clunky. I like the SIGs. Like, I'm a fan of the SIG. I think it... Which one was it? The SIG P320. I'm just trying to see. I think that's the... Is it the smaller one or is it the full frame one? I think it's the smaller one.
The only handgun I've actually fired is in the military, and the Browning High Power. It's like a World War I era.
Yeah, it's a 1911, right? It's a 1911 format. Yeah. Again, my hands are too big because they're single stack, right? If you look at the 1911s, they just the ammo, the bullets are not one next to each other or like this. They're stacked. And I have big hands, right? So I grab it. It's like I'm wrapping my own fingers. It's so uncomfortable. I need something. I need something that's
wrapping around. The other side
it's
of your
like,
hands.
and you double grip it. It's like my fingers. I don't like it. I find them too skinny.
Yeah.
But I like the SIGs though. They make good guns.
6 hours.
Yeah, I've always liked SIGs. They're expensive, but they're good guns. Now I'm just looking at guns. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
No. I'm just I'm looking at guns on my screen. Sorry,
Right.
I like guns.
No, we still got a half hour left on the show. Let's.
I can't go and just talk about and look at guns.
No.
Here's a story I wanted to cover because we talked about it when it happened. Do you remember the story I had brought up about the guy in hold on, I'll just take one more comment. Logan White is saying the really small one is the 365, Nico. The 320 is the full frame, right? Because I can't remember. This is what I was looking for. There was a Navy SEAL edition of a SIG pistol. That's the one that the Navy SEAL had. The P226. My buddy had the special edition Navy SEAL's P226. That is a cool gun. Yeah. So the 320 is the full frame. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Logan White's a gun fan. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So the 365 would be for Rob, and the 320 would be for me.
Why?
It's the 365 is the woman.
For fuck's sakes. Hi. Got a gun. Hold on. Is it I can't you're muted, Nico.
Yeah, I think I muted myself. What was I going to say is that the advantage of having small hands, your penis always looks big.
Oh yeah, it looks giant. Looks enormous.
That's why having a woman with man hands.
Yeah, it's just like that's such a great episode of Seinfeld. Oh, Jerry, you got something on your face. It's just he's like
Pops the beer.
just ripping the lobster claw apart. Cracks the beer.
Oh, that is such a classic. I'm due to re-listen the 10 seasons. I have them somewhere. The 10 seasons of Seinfeld. What a best show ever made.
Seasons. I thought it was like 16 or 17 seasons or something. It's
It's 10 seasons, but it's 30 minutes episodes, so they did 20, 30 episodes a year.
Okay. Yeah, that is a great show. I love it.
So, do you remember this? The assault that happened in Montreal?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like a month ago, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
So, it turns out that they did catch the guy.
Okay.
But don't go celebrating just yet. because let me show you the article by the Epoch Times. He was caught, but the Montreal man found not criminally responsible in assault on Jewish father. So no
why?
consequences
Interesting.
whatsoever.
Why is that?
Well, because it turns out, I'm just trying to find the wording here, how they said it. No, I don't think so. His name is Sergio Yons
Okay.
Preciado. Sounds more like he's from
Sure.
South
Eastern Europe?
America.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
No,
Yep.
South American, is saying that he was charged with assault causing bodily harm after he sprayed the man with his water bottle before punching him and kneeling on him repeatedly. But where is... here you go. Of course, Judge Joëlle Roy, which she's a woman, obviously, concluded in her September 15 ruling that Preciado, who is currently being detained at Montreal General Hospital, was suffering from a mental disorder at the time of the assault and therefore cannot be held criminally responsible. But it was a he basically those are the new
one. It's a temporary insanity.
it's temporary insanity. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
So it started exactly when the assault happened, and then as soon as it was
finished,
done, he was back.
As soon as he got arrested, it finished.
It was done. I see. Yeah, it's.
But hold on, maybe I should have shown that because there was a part. It was saying
What
somewhere.
evidence does she have? Is she basing this on?
You know what? It's because the report said Preciado was having a difficult time after he lost his job working at a theater
Bullshit.
in April
Bullshit. I hate
and
that
began taking drugs.
I hate that garbage.
He
so
was
much.
also having mental health difficulty, according to his mother. The judge said the hot weather at the time
Oh my Jesus
of the
Christ.
assault may
The
have
weather was the same for
contributed to the
everyone.
ins-
I hate that garbage so much. I don't care if you lost your job and that caused you to beat the shit out of some guy in front of his kid, bro. Like if we all have loser jobs at one time or another. We have all been in the hot weather at one time or another. We've all done drugs at one time or another. If the drugs that you're doing makes you assault people, but you chose to take the drugs, then you're guilty, man. I hate this garbage.
Global warming is causing
Yes, it was
mental
global
illnesses
warming. It was
and
climate
assault.
change. It was climate change, of course it was. But man, like this whole like soft on crime garbage has to fucking go. Has to go. And you know, of course it was a woman judge. Of course it was.
But listen to this part. Preciado's attack was unlikely to have
Based
been
on what?
motivated by hate.
Based on what? Based on what? And it wouldn't even.
Well, nothing.
I don't even care if it was motivated by hate. It's an assault. That's the issue. That's the problem. It doesn't matter why you did it. If you assault people, hit the bricks. You know, go to jail. Go directly to jail.
And the real question is, if the guy was named George Smith,
yes,
would the sentence been the same?
No. It's just, man,
Like-
there has to be an accountability system for judges. There's got to be something.
So this is the guy.
Yeah, he looks
Black
looks-
enough to not get in trouble?
Yeah. He's the right tone. He's the right skin tone.
But this is just idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. This happened last month.
How do
in
we
August.
start? Give it.
He lost his job in April. You were working at a theater in April.
Bro, it's not like you were the shortstop for the New York Yankees and you lost your job. You worked at a movie theater, bro. Like, come on. It's just
But the hot weather, bro. Hot weather.
the hot weather. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how we're deciding which laws apply and which don't based on who was feeling a certain. My whole take is I don't care if you committed the crime because of your mental health. That's irrelevant. The whole point is you committed the crime. You know, it might determine what prison you go to, but you got to go somewhere. There's got to be some fucking consequences to actions, man.
And you know that guy is just getting off with a slap on the wrist, and we'll never hear about him
Yeah.
again until
Unlikely.
it's really hot again.
Yes.
No,
and he loses
you know
his
what?
next
Maybe
job.
but maybe he's ill prepared for the winter, and next time he's gonna shoot someone or stab someone because it was cold.
Yeah, it's
So the reason I wanted to talk about this is kind of to show you how absolutely insane we've become. Do you remember a few months back there was a Quebec mother that had abandoned her daughter? Like she was in Ontario, she dumped her 3-year-old on the side of the street and she just left. She literally dumped the kid, drove back home, left
Did
the
the kid
kid
die?
there. No, she survived, but it took something like 3 days to find her.
Wow.
And the mother today
Not
was
criminally
found
responsible.
not
Why?
criminally responsible after the toddler was left in the field. And you'll see this video is insane, but she basically says that her daughter, she thought that her daughter was the devil. That's why she left her there. And then when she came back home, somehow she had forgotten and she started calling people, oh, we need to find my daughter.
I recognize
In a newly released police interrogation video, a Quebec mother whose identity is protected by a publication ban says
Oh, that's
she
another
thought her
thing.
daughter.
Fuck that noise. Expose that woman.
Yeah.
She's protected. Why? Why is she protected? She literally left her toddler in a field and drove away. Why
Yeah.
is she protected? That woman should be exposed, shown for who she is so that you know. Do not go around that woman. She's fucking
Don't let her
crazy.
babysit your kids.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
I recognize
In a newly released police interrogation video, a Quebec mother whose identity is protected by a publication ban says she thought her daughter was possessed.
I was terrified. So you stopped the car. I thought that my boss had turned my daughter into the devil.
A window into her state of mind on the day she abandoned her 3-year-old daughter on the side of an Ontario highway. That mother now found not criminally responsible.
I know this sounds crazy, but it was like she was becoming possessed by a demon.
Yeah, it does sound.
The intensive 3-day search was triggered in June when the mother
It
ran
does.
into this store just outside of Montreal, confused and saying her daughter was missing.
I left her on the side of the road. Okay. And I went back immediately. And she wasn't there. She was gone. Okay.
Searching by air and on foot.
If you saw, it was Castleman, Ontario. I saw on the sign. I've been there before. I'm just before I say. In my head is about 2 hours outside of Montreal. But I'm gonna verify before I say anything. So Castleman is an hour and a half outside of Montreal. I went right back. We do not have the same definition of right back. You're talking what, 3 hours?
Mm-hmm.
You made it to outside of Montreal, then back? That's 3 hours. That's not I went back right away. Yeah, no.
That's
Quebec,
you know. So,
But hold on, let's
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure because 3 hours is not right away. Can we agree on that one?
Yes, definitely.
Police scoured the area, but it was Ontario police who eventually found the girl in their province, dirty and disheveled, but alive. An exhaustive psychiatric evaluation found she had schizoaffective disorder. The defense and the prosecution accepted the finding.
What was in what's the correlation to what's the similarities that we see here with the judge that left that guy go because of mental illnesses? Those are the prosecutors.
Yeah, I mean, it boggles the mind, right? Like, as Angry Canadian says, removed from society is a reason for jail or prison. Who cares the reason of the crime? Couldn't agree more. Logan, put her in a fucking psych prison. Yeah, but put them somewhere. Okay, like if you want to have a special mental health prison where the crazies go, fine. But you can't say, oh, this person is not criminally responsible. They're too crazy. And then release them back into society. That's insane. like, who cares the reason they're committing the crime? You remove the person from society. And of course, these are the judges. Of course, these are the judges. Look at these.
But those are prosecutors.
Okay.
So
Well, okay, of course, because they're the ones that accept, because they would have to recommend or accept this recommendation, right? Yeah.
And the prosecution accepted the finding.
She cannot
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
know if what is right or wrong, and it's because of this
How do you know that?
mental
Because she
illness.
said it?
The search and discovery
You know, all you
of the
have to do is
3-year-old
say it.
safe alive captivated the country, but her experience has left scars, including nightmares.
Psychologically, it's hard. It's hard for the family. The father of the young lady told us that she cannot be left alone anymore.
Now, arguments continue in court on the mother's future, to remain at a psychiatric hospital as the prosecution wants, or to be released with or without conditions to try and start life anew. Sarah.
So they're considering right now, is she staying in a psych ward or is she being released with no consequences so that she can start anew?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's no consequences. You know, Angry Canadian
Except for
says-
the daughter. Except for the daughter.
Yeah, Angry Canadian says the voices never say buy a homeless guy a sandwich. They never say buy an old lady a coffee. It's always kill someone weird. Yeah, that's a good point. They never say go knit a sweater for a homeless guy. They never say. They never
Fucking
say
Angry Canadian.
Yeah.
Jesus, bro, that is a
It's
good
always-
point.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's always kill someone. You know, it's it's kind of like the argument with like the drag queens reading to kids. Why do they never go read to old people? Right? It's always kids. Why is it always the kids? But it's actually
That's a coincidence, Rob. Can you
yes,
stop?
It's racist.
Can you
and-
stop?
and-
Somehow that's exactly.
Yeah.
Somehow that's racist. Somehow that's
Yeah.
racist.
That's crazy though. That is wild. That she's
You know.
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was going to
just
change the
saying
subject because
they just release this person with no conditions because she's crazy. Okay, so maybe if you're crazy, it means you don't go to hard ass prison. You go to the crazy prison, but you got to go to somewhere. You got to get the fuck out of society for a while.
yeah. I think it's the judges that are the problem.
Yeah.
The judges and the prosecutors. Maybe, and I'm saying this off the top of my head, I don't know if I mean it or not, but maybe they can't be women anymore. Like, if you're gonna fall for this shit, like, are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck is going? Although it has nothing to do with that, because remember the 15-year-old, not the 15-year-old, but the permanent resident that tried to buy sex from a 15-year-old that turned out to be an undercover cop that got nothing because that could have impeded on his citizenship application. Same thing with, that was a dude, if I remember correctly, the justice. Same thing as, oh, don't worry about it. That guy just has a minimum amount of child pornography. Modest. Sorry, modest was the word that they used. So
It's a modest amount.
I
That's,
mean,
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It makes you it just makes you shake your head. Like, yeah, I've never particularly been a super tough on crime kind of person, but I'm definitely since the last couple of years.
But
and it's
hold on, it gets worse, bro. It gets worse. I wanted to show you something because I fell on this today. I did not realize this existed at all. Did you ever hear about distraction robberies?
Oh, I saw this clip.
Yeah.
Kind of fill us in here.
So I always scatter the news, right? I have a bunch of websites that I go to and I just look at what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the video that started it. So this is brand new. I think this was released today or yesterday. And this is what we call a distraction robbery, where that woman that looks like, I don't know, a Muslim or a gypsy, I can't tell, is literally what they do is that they put fake jewelry on people, and while you're distracted about them touching you, they steal your shit. So here's the video that's going viral right now of this woman right there knocking at a random elderly people's house, stealing her shit.
That's wild, man.
Yep.
Come, Mama, come.
See, she has a necklace in her hands, right?
Does the old person not know what?
I love you, Mama.
Why?
Where do you live? The mom, what? You live here? Yes, Mama. They come and get.
And there, see, she just stole the necklace. They replace it by cheap fake jewelry. So I saw that and I'm like, is that a new thing in Canada? Is that something that's going on that I did not know?
Is it a common thing?
So turns out that I just Googled, I was trying to find that video I just showed you. So I was looking, because I remember they called it distraction robbery. So I'm like, I started looking for distraction robbery. This is the first video that came up. This is not the same video. This is a video from 1 month ago.
90-year-old Ottawa woman is speaking out after becoming the victim of a distraction theft, robbed of a sentimental piece of jewelry targeted while sitting outside her retirement home. It happened at the Ogilvie Villa retirement community in the East End on Sunday. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with more. Katie.
Stefan, this is just one of many incidents police have warned the public about, with the elderly being targeted. It happens fast. Someone puts a piece of jewelry on a senior to distract them, with victims realizing shortly after that a valuable item of theirs has been stolen.
Thank God she didn't get this one, because that was my wedding ring.
At 90 years old, Terry Thompson has seen a lot. Never anything like this.
When I look at my hand, my ring was gone. She took the ring at the same time that she took the old ring off.
While having a smoke outside Ogilvie Villa retirement home Sunday, Thompson says she was approached by a woman who forcefully put jewelry on her.
I said, I don't want any. You keep it, you wear it. And all of a sudden, she grabbed my hand, put the ring on, and then all of a sudden, she took it off. I said, take that off. And she was gone in about a second.
Also gone, a cherished aquamarine and diamond ring.
You know, my husband gave me that in 1975.
The loss of it, heartbreaking.
I'm sad for my mom. Upset.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully they can catch this person.
Last month, police asked for help identifying suspects involved in distraction thefts targeting the elderly, including a 92-year-old robbed of a necklace.
So basically, I started looking for the numbers, and it looks like this is something that's been starting to happen, that's been really happening a lot over the past 2 years. It's really something that started happening in 2024. Like, it's always been there. This is pickpocketing, right? It's along the same lines.
Yeah.
But women targeting the elderly is what's very strange. And you're looking, if you look at cities like Toronto and Ottawa, in Toronto this year alone, they've reported, so imagine how many actually happened, but they've reported more than 350 of those thefts. And that's a 1,200% increase since they only had 28 reported incidents last year. And it seems that in Ottawa, where she's from, it's something like it was 600% increase too. So it looks like it's something that's starting to happen more and more, where women go after the elderly and put fake jewelry on them. It's a very strange thing. I've never heard of that before today.
I'd be like, fuck this shit off me. I don't want that. But I feel like as elderly women, I could see them falling for that.
But you know, the question is I started looking as to what's the origin of this.
Yep.
And this is something that is extremely prevalent in the Eastern European countries. And they were relating the problem to gypsies. That's why I said at the beginning, she looks like a gypsy. And they were saying that the way that they get away with this is they have a bunch of fake plates and they keep on changing cars. So just like you see in Gypsy, the way gypsies are in movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're actually like that. Yeah, gypsies they're actually like
that. But what's interesting is that those are not Canadian by nature. So, you know, when we're always saying the bad type of immigrants, it's not a Muslim thing. This is the wrong type of immigrants. We're literally, you know, when we say that we're importing third world fucking people from we're importing the people we really don't want here.
Yeah. Well,
what's worse than going after the elderly, man? Like that, that type of
brutal.
it's.
What's funny too is that the gypsies, like officially they're the Romani people, and they're actually from India. So they left India like, I don't know, 1,000 years or something, but they never. Of course,
you had to make it about India again.
so it makes sense. It makes sense that they're
You're
here.
So racist.
More
You're so racist.
Indian immigrants, but yeah, they spread throughout Europe, and they never really integrated or assimilated. They kept their thieving ways. I mean, it's a stereotype, but it's a real thing. That's sort of what they're famous for.
You know, just like wise guys saying, we import the garbage of this world, and
I don't get it, man. Like we're one of the few countries in the world that people really, really want to go to. We could have the cream of the crop coming here, and I think probably up until 5-10 years ago, that was our immigration policy. We were getting high quality immigrants. And multiculturalism under that system, the one that me and you grew up in, it worked, right? Like it was at a reasonable pace. The people that were coming from all over the world were high quality immigrants. They were very patriotic. They wanted to be here. They contributed to society, and that is why immigration has historically been highly favorable ratings in Canada. And now it's plummeting because they just threw the doors open over the last 5 to 10 years and are bringing in everybody. And people are noticing.
Yeah, because they're missing shit.
Yeah, they're noticing because their aquamarine and diamond ring that their husband gave them in 1975 is gone. They're going to notice that.
So, yep, they tend to notice that stuff.
Yes.
I had a good news for you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's coming out. Hey, by the way, I might have met somebody. I recorded. I was on 2 podcasts today as a guest.
Okay.
And one of the guys that I went has a really good platform, but he's out of the UK. Okay. And he's conservative. He's a conservative, Indian-ish, Muslim-looking dude. I didn't ask.
Sure.
But we talked religion. He doesn't follow one religion. He names something. I can't remember what it's called. He believes in a God. He just doesn't think that...
Baha'i faith?
No, mostly, you know, the God just sits back and he created the world and he lets it happen.
Then just chills.
He's just, so he likes popcorn. He's like, yes. God likes
exactly.
popcorn.
Yeah,
who doesn't like popcorn?
Yeah. Just watching his creations.
But the guy is very political. He's a bit on the conservative side. And I think we might have found someone that will talk UK news that could come on the show and talk.
Nice.
I like it. Because
there's so many good UK stories, and we can't really cover them we can only cover them as outsiders.
Yeah, and like we talked about the Tommy Robinson's protest, and he's like, yeah, there wasn't 100,000 people there, bro. It was a lot more than that. So
millions, eh?
I think we might have found somebody to come on the show to talk about UK news, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So that's a video that one of my followers sent me this morning. And remember, I've said this multiple times that I'm a fan of Sky News. Remember, I use them all the time.
Yeah.
And here is Sky News covering, obviously that's not the guy from Sky News, that's just a content creator that made a video, but Sky News gives their views on the protests from Tommy Robinson.
Bloody hell, Sky News. Are you feeling all right? You just gave us a fair representation of the United Kingdom march. Listen to this.
Alarming aspect of the event was just how normal the vast majority of the marches were. I spent an hour or two amongst them, and my own impression was that they were mostly the sort of people you'd meet in a country pub or in half-time queue for the loo at football or at a concert. There was a sprinkling of black and brown faces, and the event was brought to a close by a gospel group singing Jerusalem. All that must worry the traditional mass parties, Labour and Conservatives, now polling at less than 40% between them. They're draining support to parties like Reform and the Greens. And yet, a man recently out of jail, condemned as an extremist thug by most mainstream media outlets, can rally a demo the size of the entire population of Cambridge or Blackpool. A feat you couldn't imagine either Sir Keir Starmer or Kemi Badenoch pulling off anytime soon. Perhaps the people are sending us all a message.
Bloody hell, Sky News. Are you feeling all right?
And by the way, the guy that interviewed me today speaks like that. I had problems. I wish there was captions, live captions on that video, because goddamn. But yeah, so Sky News is actually representing the people. What's the population of Cambridge?
Geez, I don't know.
I'm gonna look.
Could be pretty reasonable.
They're talking about 150,000 people, which I don't believe that number for a second.
Yeah.
But I like how Sky News is actually, they're one of my favorite. If I had to choose one media outlet out there that I really like, it's Sky News. They always cover stuff still as reporters. You might not like the way it's reported, like the person that speaks, you might not like that person, but they always seem to be fair, and they fucking love to rip into people. They make fun of people all the time. I absolutely love Sky News. But yeah, so it's fun to see, especially a black guy saying those guys were just regular dudes that you would meet at any pub, and try to have any of those parties be able to organize a rally that a criminal was able to put together. I love the way he framed it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to chat with him and have him on the show. That'd be great.
Tommy Robinson?
Yeah, well, I mean the guy you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I'd love that. Tommy Robinson.
Okay, I'm like,
yeah.
One day,
I mean,
one
aim
day
high,
we shall have
aim
one.
high, shoot for the moon. All right, guys, we're going to
A Scouser?
A Scouser.
Hold on,
yeah,
just
what Logan's
a Scouser?
Don't try talking to a Scouser. I think it's that guy. Oh, it's for people from Liverpool. It's for Liverpudlians.
Oh, so they're soccer hooligans.
Yes, basically. Yeah. Hooligans.
I love that term, hooligans.
Hooligans, yes. Guys, we're gonna put it in an excellent show. Thanks for the engagement. A little bit of a slower news night tonight, but it happens sometimes. I feel like we're doing the crossover from Charlie Kirk to like back to news
whatever else is coming.
Whatever comes next. But it was another excellent show, guys. Another show, good one in the books. If you're watching this show and you want to support us, please consider becoming a member. Please remember to like and share the stream, first of all. And if you want to become a member, you can do so for the low price of $2.99 per month. That will, of course, help support the show, help support independent media, and you'll help us build this community that we're creating here, where people from all over the political spectrum, common sense, can get together on the right and the left. Are we pointing at this Buy Me a Coffee? Is that the thing?
Yeah. So just quick intro. Because I know not everybody wants to give money to YouTube. I get it. Yep. So for the people that are on X, I actually create a Buy Me a Coffee option. So if you don't want to give your money to YouTube, you can literally scan the QR code that's there, or go to Buy Me a Coffee / at the Poly Orphans. It's at the bottom, and you can do it there. So it's in the description of the channel, but I can, for the people out there, hold on, I'm being asked to put it in the chat, which I will. But all to say that if you guys prefer there, that is now a possibility. So, Pow, I just put it in the chat.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Buy Me a Coffee is an option.
Yep. And other than that, guys, have a great night. Get some rest, because we're going to be back at her tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, just like always. We'll see you then.
Peace.